Right now at 5, Patty Lett from White Rock Elementary beats out 480 nominations for a major teaching award, the McDonald County Kindergarten Teacher's Honor.
And we've got some showers out there, a little dry for some of us, more rain on the way, still breezy. Got to look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, the Missouri cattle farmers feel anxiety over potential plans for beef from Argentina.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Samantha Walker.
I'm Chris Porter. It is now Wednesday, October the, what is it now, 29th? It's the 29th.
That means Halloween is only 2 days away, Chris.
Man. I hope you all are ready for spooky season. You've already said, I think we've established that we're...
I am ready. I am excited. I have wardrobes planned out. I have cat costumes planned out.
I'm not going to, no.
There's
no,
only so often you can wear a pumpkin sweater.
Okay, I don't have any pumpkin sweaters, but I get it because my wife has. No, it's all right. She's got plenty of Halloween outfits. I'll let her go that route. But hopefully you are prepared. It's going to be a bit chilly Halloween night. We'll get to that in a moment. And hopefully you are a bit prepared for those gusty winds, man. Once they picked up yesterday, and it's still breezy and making it feel oh so cold out there this morning. We're going to start there with our live look from downtown Pittsburgh. See, the roads, they're wet. Why? Well, it rained a lot time overnight. It rained a lot yesterday, and it's going to rain a little bit more in the first half of our day today, and it'll start to dry out. Our camera 7th and Rangeline in Joplin, wouldn't you know it? It's also damp down there as well. I'm going to head over just to the south to the MoDOT camera, 20th and Rangeline. Now remember, it's zoomed in a bit, so the wind effect is amplified a bit, but you can see it is certainly breezy this morning across the area. Quick look at Skywatch Storm Tracker, really along and to the east of the I-49 corridors where we got some of these light showers, some sprinkles out there, slightly heavier rain off towards Springfield, down toward Branson. Not much here, but wait until we put it in motion because where there's not so much, take a look. We're on the other side of this system. It's rotating back in from the north. Now the good news is, we talked yesterday afternoon. It looked as though our rain chances were going to start to drop maybe a little quicker today. Still looks that way, but we still have some showers to get through the morning hours. Could have a couple linger beyond noon, but really the majority of us should be dry. The big thing we're going to deal with is just those gusty winds and these cloudy skies, just making for another dreary day. It won't be again until after sunset that we start to see some kind of clearing. Taking a look at our temperatures, and we've got something else we haven't had to bring up in quite some time, and I'll show you in a moment. We got low mid 40s out there. The warm spot right now at 50. And then, well, it's windy and it's cold. Look at that. We haven't had to bring out the wind chill thing in quite some time, but here it is. We've got wind chills into the mid to upper 30s for a number of us. So you definitely want to bundle up. You definitely want that jacket, especially for kids heading out the door to go to school. So yeah, it's going to be 45, but it isn't going to feel like 45 as it's still a bit breezy out there. Some rain showers possible. Lunch recess, rain showers should be in the state of winding down. We'll go 47, 50 when the kids go home. Let's keep in mind where our average highs are to the 60s. 50. So we've gone from way above average at the beginning of this month to below average by the end of this month. All right, breezy. Winds again start easing up. Not really until late this evening and overnight, but between here and there, still gusting upwards of 40 out of the north. Not a lot of movement from our temperatures, mid 40s by 9, upper 40s by noon. And again, our high is right about 50 degrees out there, so a bit chilly. We're going to talk more about these rain chances, how the rest of our week, including Halloween, is looking up, and what the weekend looks like here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. A teen driver dies from injuries he received in a crash last week in Neosho. The driver, 19-year-old Xander Cupp of Oronogo, Missouri, was rushed to the hospital with serious injuries following the October 20th crash. Authorities say Cupp was pronounced dead on Sunday. The crash took place last Monday morning. Authorities reported a collision between a tractor-trailer and a car just east of Missouri 59 and US 60. First responders had to extract Cupp from the wreckage. The semi-driver was not injured. Heavy rains may have played a role during 3 crashes in Joplin yesterday. All 3 crashes happened on West 20th Street just after 4:30 on Tuesday. The crashes took place during a period of about 30 minutes during heavy rains and low visibility. While the first 2 crashes involved no serious injuries, a pickup did leave the road and a vehicle hit a pole. The third, a head-on crash, which involved a pickup and a car, resulted in serious injuries. 3 people were taken to the hospital. Details on the crashes will be on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Authorities in Kansas respond to a fatal crash. The crash happened on U.S. Highway 75 southwest of Independence. On scene, authorities found a rollover crash with the car on fire. Initial investigation shows the car left the road, overturned, and struck a culvert. The person in the car has been identified as 21-year-old Heath Ellis of Caney. The Montgomery County Sheriff's Office says they will continue the investigation. American beef farmers expressed concern over President Trump's plan to import more beef from Argentina to lower consumer prices. The proposal comes as cattle ranchers face financial pressures, and beef prices have increased 44% over the past decade, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Missouri farmer Jeff Jones has operated his Angus farm for more than 50 years.
We are hoping that we can keep these farms in the family name and be able to help the future have opportunities instead of issues.
Republican lawmakers, including Missouri Representative Mark Alford, opposed the import plan. Jones says American farmers need better labeling to compete with foreign beef and wants consumers to know the origin of their meat. He believes fair market conditions are necessary to help keep family farms operating for future generations. Well, now you can stay up to date with the latest news, weather, and sports with the KOAM Plus TV streaming app. It's available on Amazon Fire TV, Android TV, Apple TV Plus, and Roku. The player is also available on our news and weather apps, as well as our website. Watch live streaming anytime, absolutely free. That's the KOAM Plus TV streaming app. A group of federal lawmakers from Kansas say they're refusing their pay until the federal government shutdown has ended. The group of 5 Republicans and 1 Democrat say they'll not receive paychecks until both Republicans and Democrats reach a deal. Sharice Davids, a Democrat from Northeast Kansas, says, quote, federal workers, active duty service members, and other Kansans will not receive their full paychecks this month in solidarity until Congress comes to a bipartisan resolution to this impasse and fully reopens the government. I wish for my pay to be deferred. Davids joins 5 other Kansas representatives, including U.S. Representatives Rob Estes, Tracy Mann, and Derek Schmidt, in addition to U.S. Senators Jerry Moran and Roger Marshall. Members of the U.S. House and Senate earn an annual salary of $174,000, or about $14,000 a month. We have a link to the full letter from Representative Davids on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. A McDonald County kindergarten teacher receives recognition for her work in the classroom. Patty Lett from White Rock Elementary School wins the 2025 McDonald's Outstanding Educator Award. Lett was chosen from more than 480 nominations across the 4-state area. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Hurricane Melissa slams Jamaica as one of the strongest storms on record, the devastating 185-mile-per-hour winds and massive flooding. Plus, Emma Thompson and Ruth Wilson team up as an amateur sleuth and private investigator. The Down Cemetery Road crime thriller streaming today. And wet and windy conditions in the 4 states. Chris has a look at your forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Topping World Watch, officials in Jamaica say there's extensive damage in parts of the island nation after Hurricane Melissa made landfall as a massive Category 5 Tuesday. The storm has been blamed for several deaths there and throughout the Caribbean. Melissa has since weakened slightly to a still powerful Category 4 storm with 130-mile-per-hour winds as it barrels across Jamaica and onto Cuba. CBS News' Jared Hill has more from New York.
New images show the extent of the devastation in Jamaica after Hurricane Melissa, one of the strongest storms on record, slammed into the island on Tuesday.
Jamaica's gone through what I can call one of its worst periods.
Heavy storm surge left streets underwater, sustained winds up to 185 miles per hour, ripped off roofs, uprooted trees, and brought down power lines. Local officials say hundreds of thousands of people are without electricity.
Here is our home away from home.
American tourists Steve and Wendy Shirk hunkered down during the storm in a shelter at their resort in Ocho Rios.
The guests, they've been very cooperative. They've been very reassured. There's no panic.
It was peaceful in the shelter.
The storm being watched closely across the U.S., where the latest census shows more than 1 million people identify as Jamaican or Jamaican American.
I have my sisters, I have nephews, I have nieces in Kingston, Jamaica.
Texas restaurant owner Errol Biles has been working to get supplies to the island to help with the recovery.
I've partnered with a local nonprofit organization that is collecting canned foods, personal items, baby diapers, baby food.
Meanwhile, heavy rains and floods now batter Cuba, where thousands have already evacuated. Jared Hill, CBS News.
The National Hurricane Center expects the storm to also hit parts of the Bahamas later today, before churning north through the Atlantic Ocean. Well, still to come, 2/3 of adults feel anxious about the state of the world, according to a new poll, the American Psychiatric Association's concerning findings. Plus, wet and windy conditions. Chris has a look at your Wednesday forecast. A 19th century play is reimagined while a group of men compete for the title of Mr. Christmas. Gwen Baumgarten has your Eye on Entertainment report.
It was exhausting. I still haven't recovered.
Emma Thompson and Ruth Wilson create a tired team of one amateur sleuth and one private investigator in the TV series Down Cemetery Road, a crime thriller with a bit of levity.
You're putting people in sort of very extreme situations that they would never be in usually. So, of course, it's quite funny because how do they react in those scenarios?
Down Cemetery Road streams today on Apple TV+. It's a competition show like no other. A battle to become the next Hallmark star has returned for a second season.
Merry Christmas.
The winner will go on to star in an upcoming holiday movie. Finding Mr. Christmas airs each Monday on the Hallmark Channel. More than a century after the play Hedda Gabler was first published, the title character returns in a new film portrayed by actress Tessa Thompson.
I think that she is a complicated character. I think one of the reasons that she's compelled audiences for as long as she has is I personally think that some of the things that she expresses are fundamental human things that we all experience.
The film Hedda follows the complex life of the female newlywed, feeling trapped by boredom and social expectations. Hedda is now available on Prime Video.
If I come back with a fish, I'm going to feel like Poseidon.
And tonight on Survivor, a major shakeup hits the game when two tribes turn to three and new tribe members size each other up. You can catch Survivor Wednesdays on CBS and stream anytime on Paramount+. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Gwen Baumgartner, CBS News, Los Angeles.
It's weird to think that we're already kind of getting into that Hallmark Christmas movie season. Well, now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
You know, you go to the stores and I'm telling you, it's already Christmas. It's been Christmas for like the last 2 weeks at some of the stores in town, so just kind of crazy. Almost Halloween, though, a couple of days away. A little bit spooky looking out there this morning. Not too spooky for Halloween itself. We'll go over details of your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Time now, 5:18. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:20 now on this Wednesday morning, halfway through this work week, almost to Halloween, and we've got some rain out there. Again, light showers right now, mainly along and to the east of the I-49 corridor. Not all of that rain necessarily reaching the ground, some of it even just some light drizzle, but as this whole thing continues to rotate through, you can see rain's going to build back in from the north and could reach a little further to the west, and we'll get a few more showers as we head through the morning before eventually it begins to go away. And that is exactly what is going to happen as we roll into the afternoon. Could have a stray shower or two, say through maybe 1, 2 at the absolute latest, but by noon, the bulk of the rain chances will wind down. Clouds, though, don't. It will start to gradually dissipate a little later this evening after sunset. We're still looking at mostly cloudy skies through the overnight, but eventually they disappear as well, and we're looking at a pretty decent Thursday. A mix of mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. Not nearly as windy as where we were yesterday afternoon and evening. Not nearly as windy as where we're going to be today and tonight. It'll be a little better for our Thursday. Temperatures a wee bit warmer as well. And then we head into Halloween Halloween, and everybody's looking forward to that, getting ready to go out. The only thing you really have to worry about at this point is the fact that it's going to be pretty darn chilly. Like I said, I know you buy the costumes yourself, your kids, whatever the case may be. You don't want to put a coat over it and hide the costume, but it's better to be warm than, have yourself or the kids get sick, and that's about all you got to worry about. Our Friday for Halloween looks good. Could have a cloud here or there, as you can see, maybe thickening up a bit by the evening, but there is no rain on this thing, just some clouds. Just a nice little spooky evening for Halloween. As for the rest of our morning, again, see, we got some drizzle. In fact, if you look in the street light, you could see some of those light showers. There they are, see? It's not snow, thankfully. It's not quite cold enough for that, but it is chilly. We're going to not really see a lot of movement in temperatures, much like what we saw yesterday. Most of us just kind of hovered out there on the upper 50s. We're going to go through the upper 40s through the morning hours, some rain showers here and there. Breezy, though. We still have those north winds gusting upwards of 45. We still have that wind advisory through 1 o'clock. And then after that, it's still breezy this evening and overnight, but not that breezy. We're looking at highs of only about 50 degrees out there. So again, well below normal. Into tomorrow, not tomorrow, goodness gracious, it's Wednesday, and that's how this happens. I haven't had the coffee yet either. I made it, I just haven't had it, and you know how important that coffee is in the morning. Back to the mid-40s by 10, eventually upper 30s overnight tonight. So again, a bit on the cold side, and we'll have those north winds still gusting upwards of 25, but they'll also begin to gradually wind down overnight into tomorrow. Again, chilly, but not bad. We're going to go into the upper 50s. We still got some 30s Thursday night, about 61-ish for Halloween itself, but keep in mind, we're dropping back into the upper 30s, so a little cool out there again. The weekend, not bad, chilly, but not bad, dry upper 50s. And remember I talked about yesterday how there's been some bouncing around data on what's going to happen with our temperatures next week. I'm telling you right now, I don't think it's going to get nearly as warm as what it showed yesterday. I think this is much more in line with what we're expecting. We're going to go into the low 60s, maybe even some low 70s, but another system toward the end of next week brings more rain chances and puts our temperatures back into more fall-like weather for us. That's a check of your forecast. Now we're going to send it over to Samantha with Health Watch.
Thanks, Chris. Are you feeling extra stressed lately? You're not alone. A poll from the American Psychiatric Association finds 2/3 of adults surveyed are feeling anxious about the state of the world. 62% are worried about their safety and the safety of their families. CBS News chief medical correspondent Dr. John LaPook says he sees more anxiety cases among his patients, and he's telling them that there's a lot going on in the world. It's important for people to have grace for themselves. Not maintaining your internal body clock can have serious consequences for your health. An American Heart Association statement says disruptions to the body's circadian rhythm may increase the risk of cardiovascular disease, obesity, type 2 diabetes, and high blood pressure. Circadian rhythm disruption happens when a person changes their typical daily sleep and meal times. Heat waves can make sleep apnea even worse. A study in Europe found that during a heat wave, the risk of people suffering from moderate to severe obstructive sleep apnea rose 13%. Researchers say their findings are significant because heat waves are becoming more frequent due to climate change. Sleep apnea can increase the risk of high blood pressure, stroke, heart disease, and type 2 diabetes. 1 in 10 people worldwide show sensitivity to gluten and wheat without ever being diagnosed with celiac disease or wheat allergy. Research published in the British Medical Journal found these people have non-celiac gluten wheat sensitivity, reporting fatigue and headache after they eat gluten or wheat. The condition is more common among women, people with irritable bowel syndrome, anxiety, and depression. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 5:30, the public will soon weigh in on proposed annexation that could clear the way for a $500 million solar farm project in southeast Kansas.
And we've got some wet roadways, we've got showers out there, it's breezy, it's downright cold this morning. We'll have a look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, city officials break ground on a $10 million makeover for Joplin Park.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:28. I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now Wednesday, October the 29th, Halloween. I know we've been talking about it. We'll be beyond that at some point, but It's just 2 days away.
Are you doing like any scary movies or any Halloween movies to like prepare, get in the season spirit? Because I know it hit us quick.
Just being here is a scary movie sometimes. I'm kidding. No, my wife, she loves horror movies. She absolutely does. We haven't actually really had an opportunity to sit down and watch any, but they're still good, and so it's fun. You got to break out the right stuff for the right season. Scary movie season, scary spooky season is just a lot of fun. I feel like it doesn't last nearly as long as like Christmas season though. Like Christmas season goes on for weeks, it seems, months even.
I think because like the cold hits a little bit sooner, but then for like Halloween, it's like, oh, it's still summer. I'm wearing shorts. What do you mean I should go carve pumpkins right now?
Yeah, no kidding, man. The weatherman, it always throws you a curveball. Thankfully, like I said, we've come back to normal. In fact, we've been below normal here lately, but it took a minute. We made it to, like I said, September 50th before we finally got into October, and it's definitely October out there right now. It is cold, it is breezy, it is wet. How do we know? Well, there's lots of ways we can tell. One is this right here, our live camera downtown Pittsburgh. We don't even have to go outside. In fact, if you don't have work today, you don't have to go outside and see that it's cold and breezy and wet, because all you got to do is get in your couch. You've got your nice warm blankets, some hot cocoa, hot coffee, whatever, and you can look at your TV, and I will show you that it is cold. You can't see that it's cold, but I promise it is. It's wet, and it's windy out there this morning. Our camera, 7th and Range Line in Joplin. Again, still getting some of those light showers. And again, if you look right here at the street light, you'll see some of them. Got some drizzle, some light rain out there. And we'll have more of that through the morning. MoDOT camera, I-44 Main Street at exit 6. Yeah, we got the wet roadways. You want to slow down. We did those stories earlier about the crashes. I actually saw a minor fender bender from the same situation when the rain and wind picked up yesterday evening around 5 or so. Yeah, you want to be careful. These roads are slicker than they seem. Just because this isn't winter weather doesn't mean wet roads can't be slick. So you got to be cautious out there. Skywatch Storm Tracker, again, right now, the bulk of rain showing up on radar along and east of I-49. Some heavier rain if you're heading up I-44 towards Springfield or maybe heading out toward Branson. And then as this system rotates through, it's going to try and bring a little bit more rain in parts of maybe southeast Kansas, parts of northeastern Oklahoma, but eventually it will go away and then it will stop raining. We also have the wind advisories. Again, there are 5 different weather service offices that cover us. If I'm not mistaken, these ones in our northern counties, they'll expire at 10 a.m., but the bulk of these will run through 1 o'clock this afternoon because, well, it's going to be breezy. Future track, again, by noon, we're down to just some showers, maybe a couple of sprinkles, and I think by 1, 2 at the latest, that's it. Rain's done. Clouds stick around, though. Winds stick around. They won't start easing up until overnight tonight. Our temperatures, again, cold out there. We are into the mid-40s, upper 40s. Nowata still the warm spot at 50. And with the wind, look at these wind chills. Upper 30s for a number of us. Even some mid-30s. Monette, Cassville, both at 35 for that wind chill. So make sure you bundle up. Bundle the kids up as they head out the door. It'll be about 45, some showers, breezy. 47 lunch and recess, 50 and dry by the time they head home. Temperatures don't move much, mid-40s by 9, upper 40s by noon, and about 50 again for our high. North winds gusting to 40, but again, once we get into the afternoon, they'll start to gradually ease up late this afternoon into the overnight. And we'll talk about what happens after the rain and the wind stops and how that Halloween forecast is looking here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Thanks, Chris. A land annexation where a solar farm will go awaits Crawford County approval. But first, the public will get a chance to weigh in on the idea. Crawford County commissioners must vote on whether to approve the annexation of over 1,600 acres of land to the city of Mulberry. The city council recently voted in favor of the annexation, which would pave the way for a $500 million solar project. The land lies just outside Mulberry, necessitating the county to review the resolution. The county has met, but before a decision is reached, they plan to hold a public hearing on November 13th.
Commissioners have to look at not only the area that's involved, but also any potential city conflicts that may occur, or whether or not that would hinder the growth of those cities and or that area.
The annexation resolution, submitted back on October 20th, opened up a 30-day window, prompting the commissioners to make a decision by November 19th. Shovels hit the ground today yesterday as city leaders and community members celebrated the start of a new chapter for one of Joplin's historic parks. Ewart Park, a cornerstone of the Easttown neighborhood, is getting a nearly $10 million makeover. The renovation will bring big changes, including a new splash pad, playground, and an ice skating rink in the winter months.
Ewart Park is a pillar of the black community here in Joplin. It goes back to the era of segregation, where there was not a park that was set aside for the African American community at that time. So historically, it had always held that tradition of being the park in the community, a community park that was open to everyone. It's going to be so inviting, not just for the Joplin community, but the entire community as a whole.
The project is funded through the city's Parks and Stormwater sales tax and is expected to be finished in mid to late 2026. Well, Christmas came early in Joplin as Freeman Health System and city leaders unwrapped this year's parade theme, Then and Now. The parade kicks off December 2nd at 6 p.m. downtown.
It's the magic of the season that happens during the Joplin Christmas Parade. You know, Freeman Health Systems is celebrating the 100th anniversary of being a hospital and healthcare provider in our community, and it gives us a great opportunity to look back and see what's happened in our community over that time period.
This year's Grand Marshal will be community historian Brad Belk from Missouri Southern. Registration for parade entries is now open, and you can find more information on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, having fun and keeping safe are high priorities on Halloween. KOAM's Ty Park spoke with the Newton County Sheriff about how parents can make sure their kids receive treats instead of tricks.
Having fun on Halloween night is important, but so is being safe.
There's a lot of different Halloween safety tips. Some are, try to go in a group if you can. That way you can kind of help watch out for each other. Try to go trick-or-treating during the day if possible. Want to try to hit homes that you're familiar with or neighborhoods you're familiar with, and try to stay away from areas that you maybe not be familiar with and don't know anybody that lives there.
Look at the neighborhood you are planning to trick-or-treat. Sex offenders are not required to mark their homes this year, but they are required to stay inside and keep their homes dark.
So some of the things when they're dressing up, try to not wear a mask that obscures your vision so you can make sure to see your surroundings. Try to wear reflective clothing, either a reflective bag or something that's on the costume itself that's reflective so other people can see you.
Parents and families are already making plans to stay safe this night.
Definitely be having glow sticks, and we're going to do pairs. We have a group of 6 kids coming with us, so we definitely stay in pairs and have glow sticks, and we stay alongside of them.
According to the Newton County Sheriff, poisoning or tampering with candy does happen, but it is very rare.
Eat candy that has been prepackaged, so don't take any homemade food or homemade candy because there's no way to check on that, and to make sure that the wrappers are still intact.
Trick-or-treating in Joplin, Ty Parks, KOAM News.
That's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Coming up, foreclosure filings jump nationwide. Plus, ChatGPT users will soon be able to make purchases using PayPal. The OpenAI partnership launching next year. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. In Consumer Watch, if you're in the market for a new car, you should know 9 new models made the 2025 top safety picks from the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety. 6 vehicles have earned the Top Safety Pick Plus award. The winners include the Audi A5, Audi Q6 Sportback e-tron, BMW X3, Ford Explorer, Hyundai Ioniq 9, and Kia Sportage. To achieve this top ranking, vehicles must receive a good rating in crashworthiness and good or acceptable ratings in headlight and pedestrian emergency braking tests.
2 of the vehicles, the BMW X3 and the Ford Explorer, improved their headlights, which is really encouraging this time of year as the time change occurs and it's darker at night. So we're really pushing for improved headlights.
The 6 new vehicles that did not earn safety awards struggled in the new moderate overlap frontal crash test. That test includes a rear occupant, and IIHS says in many cases there were issues with the seatbelt or risk of chest injuries. To see the full ratings, head to iihs.org/ratings. 25 states are suing the Trump administration over the threatened suspension of SNAP food assistance, slated to start on November 1st, amid the federal government shutdown. The government said food aid would not go out after the Department of Agriculture declined to tap into billions in contingency funds, which the agency says are only meant to cover disaster situations, not regular benefits. The states allege a SNAP cut-off would be illegal and will cause, quote, will cause deterioration of public health and well-being. Soon, ChatGPT users will be able to make purchases using PayPal. OpenAI and PayPal, which also owns Venmo, have announced a partnership that will allow the digital payment system to embed its digital wallet into the popular chatbot starting next year. The deal will give ChatGPT users access to tens of millions of PayPal merchants. And billionaire Elon Musk has launched Grokpedia, a digital encyclopedia meant to rival Wikipedia. Musk's platform takes part of its name from his chatbot Grok and says its goal is the truth. Wikipedia founder Jimmy Wales signaled he's not worried, while warning that his new rival uses AI models that are prone to massive errors. Wikipedia says it currently has over 7 million English articles, while Grokpedia says it has fewer than 900,000. Foreclosure rates continue to rise, up 20% in September from last year. Industry experts say while the numbers aren't historically alarming, they may signal broader trouble. Reporter Christian Benavides reports from Florida, which has the highest foreclosure rates in the country.
This house is one of realtor Emily Odak's half-dozen foreclosure listings in South Florida, and more are in the pipeline.
We have properties that are behind the scenes that are about to become foreclosures, that are pre-foreclosures, that we are currently watching or may be in default.
Adam, a provider of nationwide property data, reported more than 35,000 foreclosure filings around the country in September.
When people aren't paying their mortgage per se, that indicates something broader in the market for us.
Foreclosure rates are up 20% compared to a year ago, and nowhere more so than Florida. Nevada also made the top 3. Both states were popular relocation areas during the pandemic.
What we don't know is if the folks that maybe were moving there for remote work during the COVID era are starting to see distress or not. But typically, it's older homes that are just going through traditional foreclosure processes.
The high cost of home insurance and rising HOA fees for condos are driving up prices for Florida homeowners, increasing the risk of foreclosures here.
Especially because of the Surfside tragedy. The city comes in, they check out the whole building for the past 30 years, what needed to be fixed, what needs to be fixed, and then they go and allocate special assessments to the homeowners, maybe a $1,500 extra a month.
Despite drawing some comparisons to the 2008 housing crash fueled by high-risk mortgages, real estate experts don't expect a repeat. Odak says it is still the right time to buy for someone. Christian Benavides, CBS News, Coral Springs, Florida.
Employment rates also affect foreclosures, and there's less of a safety net now that the pandemic-era foreclosure moratoriums and forbearance programs for struggling homeowners have ended. That's it for Consumer Watch. Now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got some showers out there, wet roadways for sure, and breezy and definitely on the cold side this morning. We'll talk about our forecast, when the rain wraps up, when the wind eases up, and how Halloween is looking when the KOAM Morning News returns. Time now, 5:45. We'll be right back.
Some hopeful signs for U.S. farmers when it comes to trade with China. An update in today's Ag Day Minute.
I'm Clinton Griffiths with today's Ag Day Minute. The grain market's having another good day on Tuesday with soybeans climbing double digits. That's after news of a possible trade framework reached with China. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent saying as part of the agreement, China will make substantial purchases of agriculture products from U.S. farmers. Now, China is the #1 buyer of soybeans in the world, but has to this point not purchased any soybeans so far this season, from the U.S. Investors managing $11.5 trillion in assets are calling on major food companies and retailers to diversify. They want them to invest in more plant-based protein sources, saying it's to enhance supply chain resiliency and mitigate food security risks. Now, the investors have engaged with companies such as Nestle and Kraft Heinz and retailers Amazon and Walmart. But some say when it comes to meat substitutes, the products have issues with taste and texture. And ahead of Hurricane Melissa making landfall in Jamaica, dairy producers remained on the job because the cows still have to get milked. You're looking at St. Thomas in Jamaica and Surge Island Farms. Despite it all, farm workers continue to collect milk to prevent health risks to their herd. Dairy farmers across the island facing similar challenges, and while farms can maybe slow down, they can't stop. For more Ag News, watch Ag Day weekdays on the station or get updates over at agweb.com.
Now let's take it over to Chris Warner with a quick look at your forecast.
We've got to get a bit of a cold start to the day, thanks really to the wind. We have some showers out there as well. Some slightly more moderate showers now around Mount Vernon, Monette, just along south of I-44 through Berry and Lawrence counties. We've got just spotty showers, drizzle out there, slightly heavier rain though, from Springfield stretching down to Branson on 65. Outside of that, good portion of the area dry, but you see, we're on the backside of this. As here it's rotating back around, going counterclockwise here, it's going to try and bring some additional showers in, let's say right through this zone. Not a lot, but some. And they could last until about, say 1, 2 at the latest. And then that's going to be it. Our wind advisories, again, the latest of these run through 1 o'clock. And that is because, again, it's going to be very windy. Just like, man, once it got windy yesterday, too, I'm telling you, it picked up. I was out with my middle child, Colt. We had to do a couple of runs, and things were okay. And then in the middle of those runs, that wind picked up. And boy, did it pick up. And it is still breezy this morning, and it will continue to be at least into the afternoon. Still be a bit gusty through the afternoon and evening, but eventually the winds will start to die down. So here's future track. Drizzle, couple of showers still hanging on by the lunch hour, really along into the east of the 69 corridor. And then it clears out. That's it. We still have the clouds, still a bit breezy, not as breezy, but still a bit breezy. And then overnight, clouds gradually clearing. And then we'll eventually end up with a mix of mostly clear to partly cloudy skies on our Thursday. We'll be a little bit warmer, still below average, but a little bit warmer out there. And that'll just be how it is. Also, not as breezy. See those wind arrows? They're not running out there. They're not flying across that map, which is certainly good too. That wind, man, in the wintertime, it cuts. It hurts almost sometimes when it gets so cold. All right, Friday, Halloween, looking fantastic. Still a bit chilly, especially into the evening. So if you're trick-or-treating, just make sure maybe go out a little earlier. There's plenty of indoor events. There's all these trunk-or-treats and things. A lot of indoor trick-or-treating. If you'd rather do that route and still go out a little later, that way you don't have to worry about the cold. But if you're going to be out, just bear in mind some clouds. We're otherwise dry, and it's going to certainly be on the chilly side. All right, here's what we've got to start our morning. Rain showers, some drizzle. You can see it's still kind of landing on our camera here, and every so often, see, almost looks like snow. It's not snow, but it almost looks like it in the street light there on range line. We'll go mid-40s, 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 upper 40s. Not a lot of motion on these temperatures today. Eventually, we'll make highs right around 50. Of course, in our region, you'll give or take a degree or two on either side of that. Now, up until about 1 or so, when those wind advisories expire, we got those winds still gusting out of the north, upwards of 40, 45 miles an hour. Then they'll start to ease up. They're still breezy, but they ease up, gusting to 25 through the evening and into the overnight hours. And as we get closer to sunrise tomorrow, the winds will calm back down. Take a look at these temperatures tonight. Mostly cloudy skies, upper 30s for our lows. That's where we have wind chills at that point now. It's going to be pretty darn cold tonight. Tomorrow, though, again, a little better. Upper 50s, about 60, 61. So right around there for our Halloween during the day. By night, though, back into the upper 30s. Our weekend looking pretty good. Upper 50s. Next week, we try and warm a little, but then we get another system, more rain chances, puts our temperatures back down the mid-50s by next Friday. Let's check your forecast. We are back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
This holiday season, families across the 4 states areas are faced tough choices about putting food on the table. The federal shutdown cut food assistance funding, forcing more people to local pantries. Our local pantries are working harder than ever to meet the growing needs of our neighbors. We're kicking off Feed the 4 States early this year to help. Scan the QR code to donate. Your donation goes to a pantry near you. The highlight of the night was the costume contest where kids up to 7 years old could take part. Last night's event brought a sense of community and fun to kids, students, and parents.
Being in a small town community, we need stuff like this to help grow our community and help kids in this community have something to do, and for them to be able to be involved and just to get them out.
First, second, and third place winners of the costume contest won a Walmart gift card and a picture with Chris the Cardinal.
That's pretty cool. Some of those costumes are very cool as well. Yeah, costumes can be very unique. My mom used to hand make our costumes. One year she made my sister and I a pile of leaves. All right, and then we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. And then one year I wanted to be a blue cat with black spots. Don't ask me where I came up with that, but she made it happen. So sometimes you get the most creative costumes when you do it yourself, and if you're not too creative, that's why we have stores to buy costumes from, and that's where I go. I can't make those things. And you want your costume to be warm. That way you don't have to cover it with a coat for Halloween, because it's going to be chilly. Still chilly today. Showers out there, gusty winds, hovering through the upper 40s through the morning hours. Eventually should hit highs of about 50. We're going to have those north winds initially still gusting to about 40, 45. That's why the wind advisories run to about here. And then they expire and the winds begin to ease up. Still gusty though, breeze with those gusts pushing upwards about 25 miles an hour through the evening and into the overnight. But as we get closer to sunrise tomorrow, those winds will finally give us a little bit of a break. Mostly cloudy tonight, gradually decreasing clouds, and take a look at that upper 30s for our lows. We'll go upper 50s tomorrow, about 61-ish for our Halloween. So not too bad, chilly but not bad. But again, once sunset, it's going to get a little colder. Upper 30s for the lows. Again, our weekend looks pretty good. We warm up a bit next week. More rain chances toward the end of next week. Let's check your forecast. We've got another hour of the KOAM Morning News right after this.